What's up, YouTube? I'm just gonna show you a quick rundown on how to install the Hotlicks Flame Kit. Yes, this is how you're gonna shoot flames without a tune. There's no other way around it. So yeah, this is just gonna show you real quick what the kit comes with, just in case you don't know. It's probably unboxing videos you can look up. Comes with 2 spark plugs for the dual. You got your 2 nuts. And yeah, just gonna be a quick rundown. We're gonna get right into it. First, I want to start off with the spark plugs, and then you want to come right down here. Let me take that. You want to come in your exhaust, and you want to drill about 8 to 10 inches from your exhaust tip. It says in the kit. I don't think it's too strict on how far it needs to be, but it says 8 to 10 inches. I got one right here, and then the other one right there, so you can see it goes right there. Put it back there. So what I use to make those holes is, you get a drill, and then you get one of these, and it needs to be a 9/16 inch hole. So use one of these. You could use a punch to get it started, or a regular drill bit to get it started, and then once you get enough space, just get in there, and then once it's at 9/16 you stop. And then what you need is your nut right here. And if, let's say, you don't have a welder, or you can't reach into your exhaust to with a wrench to tighten it up in the inside, and then your spark plug goes in from the outside, what I found to work is, I had the idea to use JB Weld putty. It's a high heat. It's actually meant to be used for like exhaust leaks and stuff like that. So if you don't have a welder, this is a very good alternative. JB Weld putty has high heat resistance. High heat up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. There's the pressure, tailpipes, muffler. So it's meant for exhaust stuff. It's very easy to use. It's just this putty. You just gotta take it out, cut as much as you need from it, and then it has the inside is separate, so then you have to like knead it up so it becomes a uniform color, and then you could apply it to your nut. So you just put your nut on there, and then you start applying the putty all around. But before that, make sure you clean up your exhaust and you scrape it up, like give it a little abrasiveness, or scratch it up so that this could bond a lot easier. And then you just apply it all around, and it takes about, it says around 8 hours to cure. So yeah, you get your nut right there, put this all around, make sure you don't get in the threads, and then it'll set there pretty strong, and then you can just get your spark plug in there. Boom. Very good solution if you don't got a welder. Alright, once you get your nut welded, or your JB weld on the nut, once it's mounted on there on both sides, you got both your holes, what you want to do is move up to your trunk. And for the G35, you're gonna have this grommet right in the middle under your spare tire. Pop it out. You'll have this arrow right here, and if you look underneath, you'll be able to see that arrow. You want to drill 2 holes. That will be for the spark plug wire, which is right here, and then you stick them through, and then you want to connect you'll have something like this that you want to crimp down on the end of the wire, so it'll look like that. And then you can run both your wires down into the spark plug, as you can see. So run right down from there to each spark plug. It's just a quick rundown. You'll have to know how to put this. You just strip the wire back, stick it in there, crimp it, and now you'll have your wires up here. And the next thing you want to do is get these are basically like your coil packs that supply electricity to your spark plug. You get both of these right here. You'll have, the kit comes with these connectors. You just connect it right there, just like that. Easy. Connect on both of them. All right, now once you have that, I would move on to the ground wire. So what I did, I brought both the ground wires from both the little modules or packs together and then crimp them down with these come with the kit. And then I got some of the wire, 16 gauge wire that comes with the kit, and connected it like this just so I could have an extension. And right now I'll go ahead and show you. I'm gonna ground this up for this G35. I'm gonna go ahead and ground it up to this these trunk latch bolts right here. So you just want to get a stripper, whatever you got to strip your wire. Make sure you get enough, measure like that, and then you go ahead and crimp it. Go like about there. There you go. Twist it up. Insert it into this one. Didn't come with the kit. It does come with some, but they're a little bit smaller, and it wouldn't fit on this nut. So this one I got it on my own. Just stick it in there. Now get your wire crimper. Crimp it down right about there, and then now it should be nice and tight on there. Now just ground it up to any bolt you have here in your trunk. Actually, I gotta run this underneath here. And then also, if you don't have one of these, you could it also works if you just strip some of the wire back, and then just as you tighten it down, you stick the bare wire underneath there so it could stay on there tight. And this is a 10mm. Just get it nice and snug, doesn't need to be too tight, and then you'll have that there. You will have here this plastic piece right here. All you have to do, start off on one end, you grab it and then pull straight up, and then you could go on the other side and do the same, pull straight up. It just has clips, and then you just go with both hands, pull it up right here, and it should come off. It's just these clips right here that you have to deal with. Nothing too difficult. Right, so your next step, now you want to do the same thing, but this time you're gonna have your red wires. Do the same thing I did it with this. And then here's where I connected it to the 16 gauge wire. So you got two wires going into a single crimp, and you have your 16 gauge wire, which is actually running down the way I ran it is all along through the bottom of here, and then it goes right in there, and I ran it down underneath the seat, just ran it back through here. You just gotta bring your seat down. There will be, and the way you bring it down is there's like a red strap here. Pull it out, just grab it, pull it, this thing will pop out, lift it up, and then you could bring your seats down, and then right here you could just lift this up, bring the wire through here, run it down to here. And I have two wires here, but this is for a backup camera. And there's the wire for the this is for the Hotlicks. Can't tell which one's which. Yeah, this one's for the Hotlicks right here. Run it down through here. However you want to run it through your car, you can run it through the top. No, I don't recommend through the top, because it'll make it harder once you get to your front. Run it down under the seat, and then through here, this crack. And then you could lift up this part here. It's also the same as the other. You just pull straight up. I'll just show you real quick. Just like that. And you just run the wire right through here. All straight through here. And then I have it right here for now. And that's how you run the wire from the back through here. And then you'll need one of these. And then once you run it up, you want to install one of these, and you want to connect it accordingly as the kit says. So you got your two red wires right here, and it connects to right there. So if you go ahead and look at the button, be right here. This one right here, go ahead and connect that. And then once you have that, you're gonna need your 2 wires from your engine bay. You're gonna need to find that wire, cut it, and run 2 wires, one to this side, one to this side. Go right here. You're gonna have to cut up right about here. You're gonna have to find this part right here. You're gonna have 2 of these. You're gonna have to find the one closest to this side. So you have 2 of these. Find this one that has a wire going that way, or that has 2 wires going the other way. And then it's gonna have 3 wires going this way. It's gonna have 3 wires going this way. And then it's this one right here that you want to cut. It's kind of hard to tell, but it goes over here, so you can tell. So you're gonna have this wire right here that comes on this side, and then here, show you where it's at. It's hard to tell. Alright, so it's gonna be this one right here. So basically you're gonna have 1 wire, which is right here, that runs all the way through on its own, and it goes over here. And then you're gonna want to cut the one that's right next to it. So this is the one that just runs completely through, and then this is the one right next to it, which is, you can tell right here, I'm pulling it. It's gonna go into this area, and it's gonna might be a little bit confusing because there's 2 wires here, but I think it's the one that's a little bit tighter. So you can see these are a little bit looser. Oh, this one's loose as well, but should just be the one that's right next to, runs right next to this one. I'm not sure where these 2 run. You can't really see them once you go over here. They're like on this side. So it's the one that's over here. It's gonna be somewhere up here. So if you can't tell, just cut over here so you can tell, because they all just connect together, so it's hard to tell from this side. But yeah, it's the one right here. This is gonna be like wrapped up all like that. You're gonna go ahead and cut this one. Once you cut it up, you're gonna bring your wires. You need your 2 wires. It matters how it goes. So this one, where is it at? This one right here, you're gonna have to connect it to the one that's on the right, the one that's going into the harness, like that. And then the other one, which is this one right here, you're gonna have to connect it to this side where all the other wires jumble up. So you go ahead and do that. Just for the meantime, go ahead and plug them in by just connect them by just like twisting them together, so you can go ahead and test them. Make sure they're not touching anything, just like that. And then you could just mock them up and run them to the buttons. So we just ran it behind this piece right here, We're not done because we still have to tape up all that other wires and actually connect it properly. So we just ran it back through here, right under here, and then you could just lift this piece up and insert it right here and tuck it under. And then what I did, so they're under here, there's that hose, and it has where the washer fluid clips on. I just removed the hose and tucked the wires in with that clip here and here, and then I ran the wiring through here, and then I took off this clip, I popped it out, and then I tucked the wire underneath, and then I put the clip on, and then I just ran the wire right through here. And then there's this hole, I don't know if you could tell from right there, there's a hole right down there, and that's just where we put the wire through. So if you just look down, there's gonna be a small little opening. You ran the wire right through there, and it's gonna come out here. And then what you do is you just pop this thing off, and then the wire comes right out through there. Run it down this piece of gasket or whatever it's called, the trim, keep the water out. Run it under here like that. I got it going down like this, tucking in towards the kick panel, and then just running up through underneath this panel, and right here I just got the wires sticking out. And then you want to go ahead and connect them accordingly. So let's say you forgot which wire is which in the process. Just go ahead and connect them, and go ahead and try to start your car. And if your car starts, then you connected them properly. If it just cranks but doesn't start, then just go ahead and switch the connection. So if you have it connected there, then you were just connected to the other spot. And then once your vehicle starts, you know you connected it correctly. So once you have it connected, you can go ahead and test it out. You're gonna go ahead in the car, and then you want to switch the ignition to the on position, but do not start the car. Do not start the car if you have your spark plugs inside of the already in the exhaust, because if you start it up, then the spark plugs will get fouled out and they won't spark because there'll be condensation from the exhaust. So right now, so just turn the car on, and then without starting it, and then you'll have your spark plugs right here, and then go ahead and connect them, and then grab it from this wire so you don't get shocked, and make sure it's touching a piece of metal. Be careful when you do this because you could get shocked. It hurts, but it's nothing crazy. And then you go ahead and have your two spark plugs. They got to be touching something, so like if they were screwed in. And then you have your assistant go ahead and hit the button. All right, hit the button, and then boom, if they spark up like that, then you know they work. But let's say they're not touching anything, then it won't work. See? So it's got to be touching something like that. And you got to make sure you have them gapped properly in order for it to work. But yeah, just be careful not to touch them because they can shock you and it will hurt a little bit. But there you go. That's how you test if they work. Then you just go ahead, touch it lightly just to make sure it doesn't have any extra electricity. And then you go ahead and put them back in. And that's just so you make sure that the spark plugs are sparking and working. If let's say you started the car beforehand, the spark plugs went in there, there's condensation that builds up in the exhaust when you start it up, and when that happens, the spark plugs will get fouled out and then they won't spark. So that's maybe a reason why they're not sparking. If you have everything grounded correctly, connected correctly, that's what happens. So you just got to make sure you test them before that. So because we ran into that issue where the spark plugs, we had them in and they weren't working, they weren't sparking, and then figured out it was because when you have them in there and you start the car, the condensation will catch onto the spark plug and then it won't spark at all. So if that's what's happening to you, that's why. So just take them out, make sure they're dried up, and then you can just test them outside, make sure they're touching a piece of metal. And once you test that they work, you go ahead and screw them in there with confidence. So tuck your wire up in there just like that. But yeah, so yeah, now they're in there, and that, yep. And then now you can go ahead and test them while they're inside, but don't start the car up. I'm gonna have my assistant go in there and test them out again while they're in the exhaust tip without starting the car. So as you can see, it's gonna hit the button, and then you can see in there it's sparking up perfectly. And on this side, you're not able to see it, but you could hear it. You could hear that it's sparking. You could hear that it's definitely working. So yeah. All right, once you have all your stuff wired in, then you can go ahead and finalize the placement of your button. For me, I'm just gonna have it here for now. It sits on there nicely. It should be fine for now as long as you don't move the steering wheel. Yeah, once you got it all in there, yeah, you could even hear it from here. The spark plugs, they're working. All right, once you got it all wired in, should be good to go. The only thing you need properly secure your connection right here. Make sure you use the butt connectors and the shrink wrap. Tape this all up, make it nice and neat. Try to preserve your factory plastic for your harness. And yeah, you should be good to go. I thought I'd just make this video. Didn't see any videos that showed you the correct wire on the G35. So yeah, there was a couple videos, but they didn't really show you anything. It was just, oh yeah, then you do this and that, and then yeah. But thought I'd make this so I could show you exactly where the wire is, even though it might be a little bit confusing, but you got 3 wires to work with. It's the one right here. So you have these 2 right here. Just show you again real quick. It's the one that runs next to it. This one's on its own, and then you'll have 3 coming out of this little tape off area, and then it's the one that runs right next to the one that runs through completely on its own, as you can see. Yeah, there you go. So I thought I'd make this video so I could help out. This is mainly for the G35, but it's all the same for every vehicle. If you have a different vehicle, you're just gonna have to work off of your fuse box, and that's how you'll be able to find your ignition wire. This is the toughest part to find. As you can see, you know, we had a couple trial and errors right here where we cut this one, it wasn't it. This one, it wasn't it. The way you know you have the right one is once you start your car and then you press the button. If you hold it, your car should shut off. If you hold it, keep holding. If you like hold on to it, so I'll shut the car off because it's taking off all those ignition or spark from the engine, so it shuts off or stalls out. The way we knew we didn't have the right wire before is because when we would press it, the engine would basically have like 1 misfire. So when we did these, it was not cutting off all the ignition, it was just cutting off like one of the ignition coils most likely, and the car would still run, but it would run like it would have a rough idle when pressing the button. But the way you want it to work properly is when it cuts off all the ignition, so you can have as much fuel getting dumped into your exhaust and creating that nice flame effect. But yeah, try to get a clip in here of it working. You just gotta have to get your car really warmed up. That's what you need. Your car needs to be warmed up. The exhaust needs to get hot in order to get rid of that moisture in the exhaust. Yeah, so basically you just gotta drive around, get your exhaust nice and hot first for it to work, because like I said earlier, the moisture falls out the spark plugs, and then they won't create the spark and it won't work. So first you gotta make sure you warm up your car, drive it around, get the exhaust nice and hot. But if you live in a dry area or you already ran your car, it may work quicker, depends on your environment, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. Alright, so we got it working. Now we're gonna show you guys the results. It actually worked pretty good. Just like we showed you, that wire was the correct wire. This is the first time we shot flames with it, and yeah, we confirmed that was the correct wire. Alright, so we're gonna show you now. Alright, do it again.